Hi everyone, welcome to Healing from Within. My name is Keryn Rose and this is my podcast. I'm here to challenge you and your connection with yourself with questions like, are you firing on all cylinders? Do you feel the messages that your physical body is sending? Are you plugged into your intuition? And how important are you to you? I'm here to share my view on the world and help you connect with your awesome and unique self, firing up your energy and your desire to start healing from within. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Healing from Within with me, your host, Keryn Rose. Part of my morning spiritual practice, a practice that I absolutely have fallen in love with because I'm really starting to benefit from this consistent practice of connecting with myself first thing in the morning, connecting with the energy of Mother Earth and connecting with the energy of the heavens above, seeing myself almost as a conduit of the magic that is within Mother Earth. And you've simply got to look at nature to see that, and the magic that lies up in the heavens. And that's where I envisage this divine energy from which I have come, and I believe everybody has come from, and of which we are all a spark. It's simply that conduit that is above and below, and we're in the middle, breathing in all of it. Part of my spiritual practice is reading a book that has been written by Brianna Wiest. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, spelt Wiest. The book is called The Pivot Year, and this particular page that I was reading simply states, and I quote, "The healthiest things for you may seem underwhelming if your soul has only known the loudness of continued chaos. Your biggest feelings are not always the most accurate ones." End of quote. Gosh, this resonated with me. Let me share a little story. I was at the hairdresser's, yes, with my hairdresser last week, dropping in for, yes, my colour going into my hair. I'm not ready to go grey yet, I'll fess up. So the colour was put on, and then as my gorgeous hairdresser was cutting my hair, I commented on the fact that the colour seemed darker. And I asked, have you changed the colour going onto my hair? And she said no, and she laughed. And she said, however, you have left more time between the colours, and the colour had simply faded a little more than it usually does. Suddenly I was aware of almost the distance, the space between where I had started and where I had ended up, even though that colour that ended up on there was exactly the same colour that I've been having put on my hair for a very long time. So it made me really appreciate, as I was reading this statement, your soul has only known the loudness of continued chaos. When we have something that is part of our, in inverted commas, norm, particularly if it's sound, the silence may indeed be described as deafening. Have you ever found yourself in a place where you have found the silence deafening and actually said that out loud? I know that I have. I recently went to a musical and I found that the level of the sound that was coming through the speakers quite almost insulting to my hearing. It was just too much for me. And as soon as I got into my car and I shut the doors, I was overwhelmed by the sound of silence. Such was the contrast. That statement, your biggest feelings are not always the most accurate ones. It's like that sound that you can hear whilst it's happening right here, right now. It might not be the most accurate thing that is happening. Those feelings that you are feeling right here, right now, even though it's absolutely everything right now, it may not indeed be the most accurate that is going on within you. It is simply this response that you are happening. Remember, life happens. You then have this response to it. So mastering that ability to sit with those big feelings of yours. It can be confronting, it can be challenging, but oh my gosh, so important. Allow yourself to be with the feelings that you're feeling, knowing that there is something more underneath. And when I say more, not necessarily more of the same of what you're feeling, but there is more space behind that. That if you can allow yourself to sit in that space, in that noise, you will find it will fall away. And you will find yourself with yourself in that space and going, wow. I have had clients reach out to me, one in particular very recently, where I had taken her through an energy release process. And she reached out a couple of days later and said, oh my God, I feel like I'm being frozen by what I'm feeling. It feels like it's bigger than it was. And I smiled, not that she could see it, and shared, maybe this peace that you are feeling has been hiding underneath these big feelings that you've been feeling. And now that you've stepped in and experienced that little moment of, oh my gosh, this is what peace is like, that it's made the sounds you're used to hearing and feeling louder, when indeed, are they louder? And I would suggest to you, no. So keep in mind this statement of Brianna's that says, and I quote, the healthiest things for you may seem underwhelming if your soul has only known the loudness of continued chaos. End of quote. Trust that everything that you experience has indeed a purpose for you. If it is to remind you of what no longer serves you, maybe once upon a time, this feeling for my client of being absolutely overwhelmed has in some way served her and kept her safe. It certainly would have helped her manage the world that she's been living in. And now she's ready to let that space go. Trust that everything is happening for you and for the highest version of you. And that you actually have your back. You really do. Now, this is my belief system. I'm inviting you to believe in yourself, to trust yourself, and know that everything you experience is there for you, and indeed, everything shall pass. And as I love to say, until we meet again. May your day be full of the magic that is you, wherever you may be. Everything in this world is energy, and that includes you. Remember, you are the most important person in your world, and you came into this life with all the tools you will ever need to support your healing from within. Let the healing begin.